Sam the Finishing Man here. Today we're going to talk about filling grain on an entire kitchen. The project is this. You've got an older set of oak cabinets. The finish is getting kind of dingy and outdated, but the cabinets are still in good shape. It doesn't really make sense to replace them at this point. You want to paint them a gloss white. What you can't do is just go ahead and paint those cabinets. You have to prep them first by filling the grain. Because if you don't fill the grain, what you end up with is a bunch of pock marks that look like dark spots all over the cabinetry, and it just looks terrible. This is the product we're using today. It's a grain filler made by Aqua Coat. It's water-based, it's easy to clean up and easy to use. The first thing you want to do is remove the door. So you're going to take the buttons off the door, the soft close buttons. You want to take the hinges off the door. Makes it a lot easier to work on everything when it's all separate. Set the door aside. In this case, get the hinges completely off the cabinet. As it is a face frame cabinet, you're going to need to fill the grain on this inside edge and the face. First, we need to degrease the cabinets. I like using mineral spirits. You can use a citrus cleaner or other products, but I always have mineral spirits around, so that's the easiest thing for me. I do the doors, the face frame. When you get to sanding down, I have my random orbit sander, my sanding block, piece of sandpaper, so I can catch all the grooves, all the flat areas. Basically just do a smooth sanding. I use 220, smooth things out, make sure there aren't any rough spots that I have to deal with. I'm going to apply the grain filler liberally here. I put a bunch on and scrape it into all the nooks and crannies, put it on pretty thick on this first coat. I don't want this to take 6 or 8 coats to fill. I sure would like to get it done in 2 if I can. But the more time you take, the better it's going to look also. So don't rush it, but squeegee your grain filler into the grain and do the face frame also. Don't forget that inside edge. After about 45 minutes, the grain filler should be dry, so we're going to start sanding. You can see me using a sharp chisel here to clean out the corners of that grain filler. It's nice to have nice, sharp, crisp edges and everything on your moldings and your trim. Just makes it look more professional. I wanted to paint them white. Well, you can't just paint oak white because it looks terrible. On this cabinet, that's exactly what I did. I just painted it white. I didn't do any grain filling, and you can actually see the pock marks of the grain in this cabinet. It looks awful. On my last cabinet here, I did 2 coats of the grain filler, and I did my 4 coats of my white polyurethane, and it looks fantastic. Really. Let me show you some close-up pictures here. Here's the door without grain filler. It just looks terrible. You can see the pock marks and the dark spots. It looks like you didn't do your job right. Now look at the door with the grain filler. It looks fantastic. This is a door any customer would be proud to own. It's a lot of work, but it really pays off in the end. It's the difference between an amateur job and a professional job.